Museum roll call. Who are you?
Calum Robertson,
And what is your job title?
curator of modern and military history.
What does that actually mean? In 5 words or less.
Post 1750, military and Scottish history, plus bagpipes.
Nice. Where are we right now?
We're in the National War Museum at Edinburgh Castle.
Can you show us an awkward object in the collection?
Well, these angelic looking figures, dressed in early 18th century British Army uniform, originally decorated the Chelsea Bun House in London. As you can see, they're adorable, but they're not the easiest to access and they're a bit tricky to dust.
Cool. We want to see more. Can you show us around?
Sure, follow me.
Great. What's your favourite biscuit?
Viennese whirl.
What's another museum you love?
The Acropolis Museum in Athens.
Wow, what's that?
This is a mitre cap. It would have been worn by a member of the Garde d'Écossaise, a French unit with very strong associations to Scotland. It's a reminder that it's not just the British Army that Scots have served.
If you could only eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Bread, definitely bread.
Can you sum up your collection in one sentence?
Rich, diverse, and central to our understanding of Scotland in the later modern period.
How long have you worked here?
3 years and 6 months.
Which film made a lasting impression on you?
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
What was your first job?
Research assistant.
What's your favourite season?
Summer.
How do you like your eggs in the morning?
Scrambled.
What's the biggest misconception about your job?
That military history is for enthusiasts. Armed conflict has touched us all. It's everybody's story.
What object are people most surprised by?
Well, people are often very surprised about the objects that show the more domestic side of soldiering, such as these holdalls or hussives. They were made to hold personal items and sewing kits, and they would often be made by loved ones.
If you could time travel, what time period would you visit?
Edinburgh in the 1760s.
What's a dangerous object in the collection?
Well, follow me. These bladed weapons are evidently dangerous, but they're not all designed and produced to be used in conflict. It's important to remember that spectacle has always been a hugely important part of the expression of military identity.
If your collection was a song, which one would it be?
The blue bonnets are over the border.
Can you tell us a joke?
What kind of car does a butcher drive?
I don't know.
And a steak car.
What's the funnest part of your job?
Learning the collections. We have huge and diverse collections here at the National War Museum. Over 50,000 objects from fine art to firearms.
What's one thing visitors coming here shouldn't miss?
Visitors should definitely not miss this picture. Robert Gibbs' The Thin Red Line. It's much reproduced, but this is the original.
What's your earliest memory?
A lightning strike.
Which single word would you use to describe the sound bagpipes make?
Majestic.
What's your claim to fame?
I can write equally badly with both hands.
What's the most beautiful place you've ever visited?
The fjords of Norway are pretty special.
Have you got a favourite object here?
Well, I don't think that curators should have favourite objects, but visitors are often struck by the Victoria Cross, and rightly so. It's the highest award for gallantry in the face of the enemy, and we have 12 in the collection. Each one tells a remarkable story of heroism.
If you could witness a single moment in history firsthand, which would it be?
The fall of the Berlin Wall.
What's your favourite word?
Bucolic.
What's the weirdest skill you've learned in your role?
Maneuvering ladders. We've got a lot of high storage here.
What's been your favourite day at work ever?
Anytime I'm working with objects and I discover something new or I see something for the first time, that's very special. It's a real reminder that I'm pretty lucky to do this job.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
An archaeologist.
What's the biggest object you can show us?
Well, this is probably the biggest object in the museum. It's a picture depicting the Battle of Tel el-Kebir. And if we wanted to move it out of this gallery space, we'd have to take the frame off.
In 50 years, what will you feel nostalgic about?
The smell of petrol.
And finally, do you have one piece of advice for someone thinking about working in museums?
Consider every opportunity. You never know where it might lead.
That's great. Thanks so much for showing us around, Calum.
Thank you.